Don't know how many turns are on this war, this vendetta. Burnt offerings. Now. So, yeah, that's the handy play potential. Did wonder whether something like that would happen. When I got my guys, cool. And 50. Right. So, immediate numbers. Yeah. We must have had some hidden schemes then, because he's now within 60. The gap is closing. Sharpo back on top, but only 70 ahead of Robbo. Yeah, I need to find some way of getting Robbo's prestige down, even if it means I lose prestige as well. What I absolutely can't do is give him a massive chunk of prestige, so I don't want to play too risky, but something to think about. Okay, end of time recording. Let's go through the events and messages first. So I've messaged Lilith to basically say, because so Sharpie messaged me to say that saying how did I get so much prestige so quickly, and about possibility of Robbo and stuff. Going for Pandemonium. So I basically replied to say killing a Mistriders and whatever, and also said to Sharpo that if he wants to Vendetta or Praetor duel me to get some prestige off me, like to stack it one way, stack the duel or stack the whatever with a massive wager to get loads of prestige off me so that he can win, that's fine by me. I said basically I still think I can come second, even if he does that. Now, I don't actually know whether I can, but obviously I want him to win so that I can then win. I think the risk of us both being equivalent and then a combined Dan and Robbo overtaking, or just even Robbo overtaking by themselves. I say combined Dan and Robbo because that's the other big thing that happened this turn, was Robbo offering to what's the flipping thing in the screen? Basically, Robbo offered to be a vassal for Dan, a puppet even. Not a puppet, a vassal. That's the one I wanted. Yeah. So that's going to be a big deal, whether that goes through or not, right? So if Dan accepts, I mean that could be Robbo's like victory condition. So to give Dan something to think about, right? Robbo could be trying to trick Dan into making him puppet so he can win. Robbo can win with a special relic, but equally, Robbo, it could be genuine and it is Dan's way to win, is to get all Robbo's prestige and everything, which is bad news for us because it's a lot of prestige combined, and they can still pull it out. Robbo did such a good, whether it was Robbo or Robbo and Dan combined, I don't know, but they did such a good move in the arena where they stole Sharpo's Praetor, which meant that first of all he loses Praetor, but also that he failed the duel because Praetor didn't turn up. It's such a good strategy. Ton of prestige, a 45 prestige swing towards Robbo, which is, hurts. It's really bad. So yes, basically we'll see what Dan responds to Robbo with next turn. I really hope Dan doesn't accept, but if he does, it's gonna get real nasty. It's gonna get real nasty. I've delivered my extort, so we'll see what Robbo says to that. I think that gets overridden if he becomes puppet for Dan. I don't know how that works. It would be interesting to see. Bunch of new schemes in motion. Dan getting new schemes, potentially tons of prestige. Worried about that. I have put my own scheme in motion. which is to win a battle with a legion that has at least one stratagem attached. So that's an easy enough win for me. It's only 15 prestige, but it's an easy enough win. I was going to be killing a unit of Bestriders with my Asheron's Butchers anyway, to try and level up in time. They may get nuked because they only have 8 HP, but whatever. I thought I'd give it a go. And so I figured, hey, whatever, I'll just stack an extra benefit on, get some prestige out of it. So I've queued up some actions to put a stratagem in. The one I've gone for is a decoy one. I don't technically know whether decoy counts as a real strategy. It should, because it takes up a strategy slot, but just to test it, rather, like, does a decoy strategy still count towards the scheme? Yep, so that's my actions. To see if there's anything else that's worth talking about. No, obviously the Lilith bought Fennex, which is, yeah, an okay-ish level 3 Praetor. So yeah, that's good to replace one lost. That's fair enough. In terms of my actions, so obviously Seek Tribute, first of all, I need money. I don't have enough Hellfire and Darkness. Sorry, I have Hellfire and Ichor really right now. I put off getting my Wrath, despite combining the Tribute token last turn, I put off getting my Wrath 5 again this turn, because I wanted to have the Ichor to be able to buy my own Praetor. So I've put a bid in for Hagenti, to give to my Asheron's Butchers to make them a bit more big in melee, to give me a chance of winning a melee. They may get nuked, I don't know, but I figure it's a play it'd be worthwhile making. I still want the Adamantine Golem, but they take Hellfire, and I don't have enough Hellfire. May get the Great Scythe if these guys get bought, but yeah, either way. Yeah, basically, I'm hoping to get at least something to equip to these guys. So my actions, obviously, Seek Tribute, attach the artifact. I've switched the Mechatrix Sigil over from my Accursed to Asheron's Butchers because they would actually get the benefit of the additional Infernal. And it's only going to be 2 additional Infernal because I think it's a +4, isn't it? +4 Infernal. Yeah, so they don't get that much more, but you know, whatever, every little helps. Then these are the Device Stratagem and Raise a Bestridor and Move strategy, so I'm going to get a bit of prestige out of that, and then finally up the bid on Agenti. So lots of stuff going on this turn, not getting a lot of prestige, sorry, not getting a lot of resources, tribute, which I'm worried about. I need to do a big tribute draw next turn, I think, if I'm going to go into war with Robbo. And I need to get Wrath as well. But yeah, the possibility of having to fight Dan has really worried me. I know his massive unit's been nuked, but it'll come back. I don't know if it comes back in time. It should do. Yeah, I think it will come back in time by the end of the game, but either way, really concerning. And we'll see how it goes. So that's my turn. Heading towards Pandemonium. Huh. Hey, guessing that was Robbo. Here's a big boy. Finally, someone did it. Just wonder. Ooh, somebody the Conclave. we go. It's a big turn. There's the reveal. So, yeah. So Dan did accept that then, huh? I can't believe we're the exact same. That's insane. What are the chances? What are the chances? $208 each. Lilith on 236. Well, I guess we're fighting Dan now, huh? Okay, turn 52. Sorry, turn 51 turn review. I first thought this was the beast actually hopping out of the ground, but it is the Abyss Leviathan, which changes things. So, first things first, I don't know who he's going to go for. He spawned in a slightly awkward spot. I mean, I don't know if he just goes for the closest or the person with the highest prestige or whatever. If he takes Mines of Gehenna, that, you know, it's right next to him. Also, there's a danger then that Robbo could come in and take it. If he goes in a different direction, obviously, who knows, right? He could go north, or basically all the nearby ones are Sharpo's ones, which can then be claimed by someone else. But it's not the end of the world if they get lost, I suppose, at this point in the game. The destruction plus one's nice, but everything else is losable. Either way, I've got my guys positioned so that if he goes for Mines of Gehenna, I can take him back with my guys. I say that actually, can I? Well, I can try. And if he goes for Testament of Tyrants or any of the other ones, I'm positioned for Testament of Tyrants. Any of the other ones, oh well, can't do anything about that. So I'm holding my guys here on that account. Now on to the rest of the game. So let's look at what's happened first. So assembly started. I'm currently the favourite, but I won't be at the end of the next turn. Let's have a look. Lilith, so Sharpo completed Machine of Despair, which for me was unfortunate because it decreased my deceit by 1. So that takes me down to 3, I think. Hang on. Yeah, 3. So in theory, I lose an action point, but actually I don't because of my artifact, which gives me +1 action slot. So, yay! Actually, it turned out to be a good buy after all. But I think that's going to get stolen if my deceit's low. Robbo's going to keep trying to steal stuff off me. So yeah, I need to get my deceit up, so that's priority. I'm hoping that it hit other people for very painful stuff, but I don't know. Diplomacy with Robbo was interrupted, so I got my prestige back. My Erase the Abyss Strider and combat thing worked, but it's a bit irrelevant now for reasons I'll go on to explain in a little bit. I resisted Robbo's stealing of my artifact, but I don't know how many more turns I can do that. I think if he just keeps trying, I keep losing. But the longer he's stealing off me, the less he's stealing off Sharpo, I suppose. So that's, you know, something. I won my auction for this guy, although the game has changed a little bit now. Plans-wise, I got my 15 prestige from Battle with the Stratagem that I did last turn. As far as this goes, so Astaroth accepted so Dan accepted Robbo's vassalage offer, which is very big and affects everything. I'll go through that in a minute. Private schemes wise, it turns out that Robbo didn't have any, so I thought he'd have loads, but he didn't. Dan and Sharpo did, though. Sharpo had 45, which was nice. Well done. And auctions wise, Robbo got Icor Vats, which I do not like at all. It's bad news, but I mean, he's going to have to question slots now, right? He can't equip it to these guys unless he moves something out, which I doubt he'll do. So yeah, it's quite question of slots. These guys could get big though. So there's always that. Okay, so now talking about this puppeting, vassaling. Wrong screen. This is a real pain in the ass. It's probably one of the worst things that could happen because it puts Dan. It basically means Robbo's gone from a situation where me and Sharpo stood a good chance of coming first and second, to a situation where either me or Sharpo's got to come third, really. Dan, if Sharpo beats Dan in their vendetta, then that I could still come second even, but it's going to be difficult. So he's always really turned the tables over here on us. Turn the tables over on us? You know what I mean? There's two analogies there, but whatever. It's, yeah, definitely a bad feel turn from that point of view. As far as mechanics go, it's a bit like to have the strategy I've been working for the entire game jeopardized by someone that's not even going to win. Like if it was like Dan making some massive play or something, then okay, like at the end of the day, you know, you shoot your shot. If it hits, fair enough. With Robbo, unless he has the vassal win, whatever it's called, hand behind the throne, or whatever it's called, where he wins if his person he's vassal to wins. Bloodlord has one. Okay, fair enough. But I don't know if he does, to be honest. I'm quite surprised Dan accepted it on this grounds. Don't really know. I guess for Dan it's like it's his shot to win, so he may as well take the risk. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like I wouldn't have accepted it. But equally, I think it's probably more likely that Robbo doesn't have that, and so just wants to come second, sees this the best way of coming second, doesn't want to king make me or Sharpo. I mean king make it in the traditional sense, not the specific sense of this game. But, doesn't want me or Sharpo to win, so would rather come second to Dan. So I think that's the most likely outcome, which is frustrating for me, obviously, because it's screws me over in two different ways, really. So it's also very well timed in the sense that I can't now vassalize myself to Sharpo, neither can Jake or anything else. So not that I necessarily would, but I might do. You know, if I thought it was all over, I might just do it, just so that Sharpo could win and no one else could win. I'd rather Sharpo than anyone else, even if I was going to lose for sure. But yeah, I can't do that now because the Conclave started. It's also very clever in that now the showdown between Dan and Sharpo, which was kind of always going to happen, all Robbo and Sharpo, which was kind of always going to happen. Now it has to be both of them on Sharpo at once, which is very hard for Sharpo to deal with. So he basically he pushed Dan very hard, and Dan's in a very difficult position because his guys still aren't going to be back for a couple of turns. Robbo, on the other hand, has guys that Sharpo can worry about because his guys have tons of ranged. Sharpo has lost his Praetor, so yeah, it's bad times. Sharpo needs some help with Robbo against Robbo's guys. Robbo's guys have a deafening drum. That's hard to deal with. So yeah, it's a hard fight, I think, for Sharpo. It's especially hard if I can't help out, because I can do things like enfeeble or hit his guys for damage or planar lock him. There's lots of stuff I can do. But if Dan's just hitting Sharpo with spells and Robbo's hitting him with units, it's going to be hard. And Dan can choose to stop the vendetta happening, to stop the vendetta to me happening, right? First of all, he's got the turn advantage, so if he preemptively diplomacied me, then he will stop me from being able to declare on him, which is the kind of thing Dan would do, although I do wonder whether his attention is very much on Sharpo now, so he probably would take the first turn advantage to do something else, but you never know. There's a chance that he could just block my diplomacy. And even then, if I declare on him, he can just accept the demand, just to keep me out of the war. if I insult him, it's such a small prestige gain and prestige loss for him that he could just take it, and if he rejects it, he gets to choose what the terms of the war are, and I want to choose what the terms of the war are. So that's a tough spot. So the conclusion of this is, I think I have to go all in on Sharpo winning. There's no point in trying to hedge my bets with prestige now. I think I have to go all in on Sharpo winning. So I'm not going to do anything that... I'm not going to try and get more prestige. Like, I'm not going to bother with schemes or anything like that, because I don't think me getting prestige helps. I don't think it benefits me if Sharpo loses to Dan. If Sharpo beats Dan, my getting extra prestige doesn't make any difference anyway. So I think I just have to go all in on Sharpo winning. Now, that could mean me getting Prince. I'm going to leave it till next turn to decide if I do want to go Prince. I'm not convinced right now that it will make much difference. The extra resistance would be great, but I'm not convinced it's huge. But either way, I'm going to wait till next turn. So, what am I going to do? Well, I've got an extort lined up for Dan. So Dan could have some crappy little artifact somewhere, which I've forgotten he's bought. So I've extorted artifact, by the way, specifically. So that's the thing. He could just feed me some tiny artifact, and if he does, well, damn. The other artifact I know he has is this, and I want to get that wrath off him. That's one big way to help Sharpo, is reduce Dan's wrath by 1. Now, if Dan doesn't have another artifact, he's going to have a tough choice between giving me the +1 wrath artifact and just declaring war. My gut feeling, and having thought it through a little bit, I think he would probably declare war. His guys, if my maths are right, are going to come back on turn 55, which is probably like a turn or two after the Vendetta starts. So he'll work that out and be like, well, I could just teleport them in, take the Age of Sloth. Jan loses all his good stuff, destruction, resistance, destruction ability, all this good stuff. So that could swing the game. Maybe too late, but the game could end, turn after. So it's, who knows. So he could go for that. I think he may go for that, but we'll see. The other point about me, why I was saying that I want to be able to declare the terms of the war, is because I want to string it out. I don't actually want to fight either of them. What I want to do is stop them being able to fight Sharpo effectively, so I could lose all my stuff. That's fine, providing I go for an 8-turn war on something based on like cantons or something like that, and then run around and whatever. That's an option. Because that's why I want to dictate the terms. So I think if Dan accepts the war, this dies, I think. Either to Dan's guys when they come back, or to Robbo's guys who will take a detour and kill them. Now, if they take a detour, they'll go through my guys and kill those two, which would be unfortunate. But there we are. He'll get quite a lot of prestige for that. At least it will distract him from Sharpo. I feel like me sacrificing myself is the right way to go. Providing I don't die completely, which I can't unless Robbo or Dan pings Pandemonium, which at this point would be a weird play, but I mean, weirder things have happened. Someone could also buy a Titan as well, who knows. Someone could buy a Titan and that could change the game as well. Now, what else do I need to think about? So I've got my guys here. If Robbo goes north, I could swing in and take Unholy Fountain, and he's got his Deceit +2 strength in there, so that would be a nice pick. That would be a big pick, actually. So I've got some guys ready for that. Obviously, I can't do it in one turn. I'd have to move up, so I may end up moving my guys up, but we'll see. Other things to think about. talked about the positioning for the, depending on where the Abyssal Leviathan goes. I talked about getting my seat up as well. Yeah, I lost a seat. I need to get it for ASAP. I've gone for Wrath as well, just because I'd already created the tokens for it, so I figured I may as well go for it. Also phase order tactics could be huge. And potentially I could get to 6, which would again change things, although I don't think I've got the time. Yeah. Oh, wait, other actions as well. I've gone for Seek Tribute. I've gone for, Improve my Wrath, as I've said, and I've gone for my Consolidate, so I can hopefully, if I get a good tribute draw next turn, get my Deceit up to 4 again. I think Robbie's just going to keep hitting me with Deceit stuff, though, and end up taking my artifacts and things, which is going to be painful. All my tributes. Basically, I think he's going to keep hitting me, but can't do much about that. So yes, that's my go. That was a very crunchy turn, and I think the next couple of turns are going to be super, super crunchy. That is the way the game goes. Okay, end of turn recording, and I didn't get quite enough tribute to get my darkness to 15 to get seat 4, which is really frustrating. But I've done a lot of sick tribute action, so hopefully next turn I can. Other stuff that's happened this turn, so I got the demand from Lilith, so Sharper did go ahead with it and demanded me, so I've rejected that, so he can then do a Praetor Duel or whatever next turn to get some free prestige off me. The Conclave has moved on to phase 2 of 5. Robbo just sending abusive messages, but he might be going for a pandemonium thing. Don't know, we'll see. Can't really do much about that. Sharpo teleported away rather than teleporting in to block him, so yeah, I don't know. Interesting stuff. To be fair, if I was Sharp, I wouldn't want to put my guys there. I don't know if he can take Pandemonium. I was trying to do the maths, but I think it might. Not in one turn, I think, but he definitely could get close if he can't do it in one turn. So yeah, be an interesting turn of events. What else has happened? So yeah, the Leviathan took Hannah, obviously. I'm going to sweep in and take it this turn. I have upgraded my Wrath to 5. Obviously don't have enough Icor now to get it to 6, and probably won't in the rest of the game, but I will. Might do. Dan lost his vendetta against Sharpo, but only lost 8 prestige, so it wasn't too bad. I took thingy this turn. Regent this turn. So I picked up the Capricious Wrath and Diplomatic Immunity events. So that's the one legion gets randomly destroyed. So obviously I don't want to do that unless Sharpo's guys die. And then Diplomatic Immunity, which is that no one can demand or insult me. I don't know whether I actually want to play that, but we'll see. I decided I'm not going to go for Prince this turn. I might see what Dan's response is next turn and then decide. The extra ritual resistance would be nice, but I don't know. It is a real all or nothing play, but yeah, we'll see. I worry that if I do go Prince, Sharpo will start suspecting me and then drop a level 6 Prophecy Dark Augury on me, and then it will still have time to knock me out. If the game goes long enough, he won't, but yeah, in theory, if he has enough turns to declare the war where he can knock me out, then yeah, that's bad times for me. So I'm hoping I can just string out for another couple more turns. We'll see. I have also equipped my Hagenti to these guys, the Asheron's Butchers, so they can take the Holy Fountain if they want to, or take these guys if they want to. Can't do much else. I worry that all I'm going to do is just give that whole unit to Robbo when he steals it with Prestige next turn, or the turn after that. Sorry, he steals it with Deceit rather, if we ever get into war. But I mean, what can you do? I mean, he might steal them anyway. But yeah, what can you do? Basically, I think it's time to roll some dice. It'd be nice to have something with a bit of melee on. Don't know where these guys are going to go. They may just go south and take me out. It's a risk putting my guys up there. I just don't know how it's going to pan out, but I thought I'd go for it anyway. Yep, there we go. Ah, dearie me. Dearie me. Ooh, the lead's tightening. Right, end of turn 53. So, big events of this turn. We went straight on to Assembly Phase 3 of 5. Leviathan continues, obviously. Dan accepted my extort. So yeah, so I got 8 prestige, but also more importantly, I got the Hand of the Executioner, which is big. I think it's yeah, I don't know if it's going to massively affect him. Hopefully, well, I say hopefully. I feel very bad in the sense that hopefully it does, but also hopefully it doesn't. But yeah. I don't know how it'll impact his game. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought through whether it'd been better for him to take the war or not, probably. So the other big demand is that Robbo's. So the other big event, sorry, is that Robbo's going for a pandemonium play, which changes things a lot. So my strategy is to go in, capture Holy Fountain when he does it, and we'll have to deal with him and take his base out within, I guess, 5 turns. Dan's guys will respawn in 2 turns, and so I think realistically what's going to happen is Dan's guys respawn, take Robbo's base, and that's that, really. Hopefully he doesn't get an absolute ton of prestige for it, but unfortunately I think he probably will. I don't think Tom Sharp can get his guys over quick enough. It's because Tom's going to be taking Testament of Tyrants and then moving up, and there's just so much territory in between the two that I think Dan will get that steal. So we'll see what happens with the demand that Sharpo makes. Sorry, with the war that Sharpo makes him in the Vendetta. Other big things, so I resisted Dan's Augury, level 6 Dark Augury, which was huge. If he'd got that off, that would have changed things a bit. I'm worried he's going to keep trying to do it, and so on that basis, I'm definitely improving my deceit. Although, realistically, I would have done that anyway, but I've put it as the first thing I do in the turn. Plans in motion, and we'll see whether they pay off for Sharpo. In the Bazaar, obviously, Robert bought the Hellfire Ballista, and Dan bought the Chains of Torment. But that Hellfire Ballista is a big boy, and I have no way of dealing with it. Except, if I infernaled first and did enough damage, I could kill it, but I just don't have enough damage with my main guys, so that's not really an option. Potentially I could add a stratagem to them or something, but I don't know. But as soon as that hits, it's double 21 shooting, it's huge. So I can't take out probably strongholds, but also I'm probably not even going to try. I'm just going to take out his other stuff, and leave that to either Sharpo or Dan. Like I say, it'll probably realistically be Dan. I don't know what Dan has to give on this extort. I don't know if he's got any. Can't see any items. It's maybe a Praetor. I don't know. Anyway, either way, I don't know how that resolves. But I need to realise that. There you go. Hang on. Transfer an artifact of pride to a place of power. I'm pretty sure that this is So that's the Hand of the Executioner. So that I'll go off Dan. I will equip onto there. Fine if Sharpo takes it. If he doesn't, I get a plus on Wrath. It's all good. Dropping down to 3 would be annoying, but I could always buy it back. I want to have a big old stack of Hellfire and stuff ready for dropping bombs on Robbo. I've got 3 ritual slots, so I think I could do quite a lot in a turn. I might actually try dropping. Well, I don't know. Tempting to drop a cheeky strategic confusion this turn. It was an extra turn to get into position, that's for sure. It's a big question: is can Robbo take him one turn? Well, we'll see. Slowing down the game would be good, but I think I'll just let it play out for the time being. Okay, right. That's the turn. Interesting. starts. Unless he starts, continues. Flipping every turn. Moving going on. And my guys' factions moving. Right, okay. So where are you going to go? Ooh, Palace of Gluttony. Interesting. Didn't even get to his 23 Infernal. Palace of Gluttony isn't even that small. Oh, I see, yeah, it's got Recudon from there. It's a nice steal, anyone that wants to get it. Ooh, Asteroth jumping ahead. Boy. Okay, end of turn 54. Okay, big events for this turn. So, Robbo didn't hit Pandemonium, but he has freed up space on his guys here slot, so he's presumably equipping something that will allow him to take a Pandemonium or using a stratagem or something like that. So I guess blocking Infernal would probably be the way to go. But either way, so I expect him to take Pandemonium next turn. He presumably got something up his sleeve. But it did, yeah, I mean, there's an extra turn. Now, as far as the Conclave then, oops, sorry, wrong one. As far as the Conclave goes, we had another turn. It has 3 of 5, right? So it was an extra turn potentially added, so we might be going to 6 or 7, 56, 57, depending on what happens. So yeah, another couple of turns to survive, which means Dan's guys are going to be back and be able to do stuff in that time. So yeah, don't know what to do about that. We'll see how it plays out. Other big things have happened. So Dan completed these 3: Machine of Despair, Machine of Agony, and Vengeance. So yeah, that's my Wrath, Destruction, and Deceit all dropped down, which is very painful. That's, yeah, I think one of the biggest things Dan's done to hurt me in this game so far, probably at this point in the game, because not being able to play Null Lock Robbo is huge. Losing 2 level 4s is huge, because I'll be losing these 2 next turn. So I'll be down to 4 actions next turn. 5 actions? 5 actions, I think. But yeah, so I will need to get my Deceit back up, and my Destruction back up as well, which is going to take, first of all, a ton of actions, because I've got to consolidate, but also a ton of resources. So this turn is just getting tribute and consolidating. So it's timed so well with what Robbo is doing, because I won't be able to hit Robbo super hard next turn, because I just won't have the actions to do it. So I'll still be upgrading. So even if I get the right tribute I need, I'll still be upgrading my skills. So that's super frustrating. I won't be able to plane a lock him turn 1, which was, yeah, kind of key. So I don't know if I'll be able to hit him hard enough, Robbo hard enough to cause some real problems. And then yeah, Dan's guys come in and potentially win the fight, and yeah, it all gets really messy. He and Sharpo will be fighting as well, so Sharpo can't just teleport up and hit Tower of Pride, and yeah, I don't know. Still very hard to read. I'm not feeling super great about our situation right now, not least because Dan's now 10 points ahead of Sharpo and 45 points ahead of me in terms of prestige. I don't think I could catch him. We had a really big turn prestige-wise. So yeah, I'm feeling less than great about that. Sharpo did do some schemes, but they didn't get that much. Yeah, Lilith now Conclave Vendetta. Elizabeth. So Jake, yeah, accepted the insult. I've stuck the Wrath thing onto Testament of Tyrant, so I've got an extra Wrath, but I'm obviously going to lose it next turn, so it doesn't really count for much. Abyss Leviathan took Gluttony, Palace of Gluttony, down here. But Dan can get it back in 2 turns easy. And he'll get extra prestige for getting it back as well, so that's annoying. I would like if Sharper could get some guys and take Hannah back, because that would be great for his prestige. Extra 10 prestige would be nice. But yeah, he'll do what he'll do. So yeah, my actions this turn aren't very exciting. I could still get some prestige in the form of my big 35 scheme and my Dark Augury another 15. So it's not nothing, but it's not going to be enough. Like that would only get me to like approximately level with Dan is, and he's going to have had more in the meantime. If this thing with Sharper doesn't come off, I think this is going to lose us the game. Lose both of us the game, because I'll get 20 prestige, which is nothing really in the grand scheme of things, because I can't like burn offerings or anything to get more prestige. Yeah. As far as like, I'll probably do a bit more of a roundup at the end, but I'm feeling powers wise that not going charisma is I don't know, feels bad. Especially when you get to this point of the game, it's got very sweaty. I mean, I've been doing some sweaty stuff with these Bestriders, but I think the manuscript stuff and the burnt offerings spam at the end is just such a large amount of prestige to overcome. And even though I've had Destruction at 6, Prophecy 6, and Wrath could have been at 6, and Deceit could have been 4 or 5, like if stuff hadn't gone the way it went, it's still, I haven't really benefited from it. I haven't used much Deceit, to be fair. And I haven't used Prophecy that much either, but I was hoping to have the Demonic Interference to use against Robbo or Dan. Playing a Lock and Demonic Interference as a combo is really nice. I was hoping to be able to drop that, but yeah, Dan's just that move at the end has really done a lot of damage. There we are. It is what it is. End of turn. So far, so good. Okay. Nice. Right, where are you off to? Pandemonium. No, he's not. Ooh, that's a big old score. That is a big old score. Boy. I mean, that's a very small score compared to Sharpo's. Okay, end of turn 55. It's another Assembly Phase 3, so it's dragged out a little bit longer. And it's looking like Robbo is, after all, going for Pandemonium based on the fact that he has bought the Infernal Engine and freed up a slot over here. That Drums of War has gone to the Lister, which is scary, but not a problem to deal with literally right now. So yeah, if he equips that and then hits in one turn, he can probably do it. I haven't done the maths exactly, but +2 range, +2 melee. Yeah, he can probably do it. Yes, basically. Get ready for it. It did seem like it was a bit of a fake out for a time being there because he just wasn't pulling the trigger. But yeah, we'll see. It's looking more and more likely. The Abyss Leviathan will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hit Holy Fountain probably. If it looks like it's heading down that way, so if it does, it's going to end up really awkwardly there or there. Don't like that, but it is what it is. I may end up losing my guys if it then moves off and moves through them, but I don't really know what else to do. I want to make sure he doesn't have a Holy Fountain, Unholy Fountain with his Finger of Betrayal on, because we want to be hitting him with... we want to be resisting his deceit stuff. Oh, sorry, I thought that was plus deceit, not deceit strength. Damn, that's annoying. Oh well, it's better that he doesn't have it either way. And if I can get a little bit of stuff, a little bit of prestige from taking it back, preventing Dan getting it, that's good. Battle reports wise, yeah, Sharpo's guys did their thing. He's got his Wrath stuff now. His +1 Wrath and +2 from the Hand of the Executioner. So yeah, completed his Vendetta. That's Conclave favourite as well. So Conquest Past. He also got Conquest Past, which is great. His guys are surprisingly low level, but I say 4 is not really low, but could easily be 5 if he'd taken some actions to level up on the Abyss Riders. But anyway, that's the main stuff for this turn. It taking an extra turn for Pandemonium to be hit means that I have been able to have a chance to upgrade my powers, so I'm going Destruction 6, Deceit 4, Wrath 4. It's a bit unnecessary doing both of these, but I've got the resources for it, and I would like to have both of them just generally for the bonuses, and for the resists, especially with Deceit. So even though I only need one more order slot to get back to 6, it's still a factor. Destruction is obviously way more important to me, but Deceit as well, I'd like to have a little bit higher Deceit. Also because it's got Pilfer Artifact, so that would be quite nice to hit Rob with one of those if I can. But yeah, it's that planar lock that I'm really looking for. So this turn's been 2 Seek Tributes and those 3 improvements, and then next turn is going to be a big one. First, nice. Got the Wrath. It's a big sacrifice having to burn offerings every single turn. It's a big action cost. Here comes the big guy. But no Pandemonium hit. Damn, this is a real fake out from Robbo. Real fake out. Oh, how close it still is though. Okay, so Conclave is still stuck at phase 3 of 5, so this one is dragging on. Potentially could be looking at turn 60, 60 plus, don't know, definitely dragging on. The other factor is, Robbo still hasn't taken Pandemonium, but he has equipped the Infernal Engine now. I thought he would equip it last turn and hit, but he didn't. So he's got it, and he looks set to do it if it is a fake out. It's a very strange, very high level of commitment to the fake out. Fairly quiet turn from Dan. These guys have come back, obviously. So yeah, don't worry about him getting more prestige. So he's got his little guys here that have taken back Passive Gluttony, and so he got some good prestige for that. Leviathan continues after taking Unholy Fountain. I can't take Unholy Fountain back because Robbo still hasn't pinged Pandemonium. Yeah, that's unfortunate. If he doesn't ping Pandemonium, if he just marches back, then that's going to be interesting. Jake's guys could in theory take it, except for the fact that they have 2 HP. I don't quite know why. And so the 2 ranged off the Unholy Fountain would be enough. That's really unfortunate. I guess they've been enfeebled. I don't know. Either way, yeah. Looks like Robbo knows this is specifically keeping them down. I don't know why they have 2 HP. Yeah. Okay, I just had to pop off mid recording last time, so I'm back now after a little short break, and I don't know what I was talking about last time. So I am basically just going to jump to my actions. So the first one is that I'm going for Prince. I deliberated about this for quite a while, and obviously over the last couple of turns, well, the last probably 10 turns, I think. I was talking about it a little while back, but yeah, I finally decided I was going to go for it. I was just too far behind Dan and Sharpo in prestige. I was like 100 behind Dan. It's just so unlikely that prestige will be relevant against Dan. Like, how am I gonna get 100 on him, and how is he gonna lose 100? He's burnt offering every turn. I just can't compete with that. I went on charisma specifically, and although I could in theory be getting it now, it's late enough in the game that I decided no, I'm just not going to bother. I'm going to stay true to my non-charisma strat, I guess, or decision. So yeah, I basically just left it. So I went for Prince. Still have 100 prestige, 111, not too bad. Not that it's particularly relevant, but yeah, I thought may as well. What's am I going to do? It might help me later in the game if it does drag on. Other than that, I've got a whole bunch of Seek Tribute and some Consolidate Tribute. I'm hoping to stack up a bunch of Tribute in case something good comes up in the Bazaar. Or like maybe some artifacts or a Praetor or something. I don't really want any of these right now, but I might end up getting something. I don't know. Some cool level 4 stuff would be... 4 or 5 stuff would be good. Yes. So that's my turn, really. We'll see, how it pans out. There's lots of stuff in play. So yeah, very interesting. Interesting. The offerings continue. Okay, so events this turn. The bazaar has been closed, so that is a big change. I was only really tentatively looking at buying some stuff, but it's always good to have the option. But now it's been closed, so we're locked in here for probably the rest of the game with whatever we've got. We unless someone hits Pandemonium and extends it for another couple of turns, but yeah, it's 4 turns that it's locked for, so that's probably going to be the big deciding turns. Lilith got slandered and lost 14 prestige, which is, yeah, annoying. Not catastrophic, but annoying. We've progressed to assembly phase 4 of 5, so still potentially could be going a fair way, but we're progressing at least. I'm the Regent. As far as the event cards that I kept, so I kept the Excommunicated Archfiends 1 just to potentially rehabilitate myself or Sharpo if ever it comes to it. Not that I think it will, but it might. And the Nuka Random Legion. If Sharpo's guys go down, then I'll just drop it and it'll probably kill one of Jake's guys. Annoyingly, but it is what it is. There's a chance that it could kill something good, so yeah, that's always worth having. The Leviathan's ended. I've increased my rank. Sharpo got 20 prestige for a thing, which is nice. Dan has attempted to extort Sharpo, which is interesting. I don't know if Dan wants to fight or if he's just trying to cheeky extort, but we'll see. Yeah, Sharpo got Gehenna, obviously, and he also bought Wicked Wayne. Yeah, interesting, to add to his guys. So, that's what happened. Obviously, the other big thing that didn't happen was Robbo hitting Pandy, so that the nuclear button remains unpressed, the big red button. At this point, I mean, I don't know what criteria Tom Robson is using to decide whether or not to hit it. Kind of figured that he was probably waiting until the very last minute and then it's going to hit it, and so potentially, like, phase 5 might be when he presses the button. If he's working very closely with Dan, then it might be that they're waiting for, like, if Sharpo gets ahead, then they might do it, and if he doesn't, then they might not. But who knows how closely they're working, and also what Tom Robinson's personal criteria is. He could, if he does excommunicate himself, he could get rehabilitated, in theory. Yeah, there's lots of options, and I don't really know what they're thinking. Although it doesn't particularly change the plan at this point. If they make a big play, then we respond to it if we've got time. Yeah. Right. So my actions, just to get a whole bunch of prestige. Sorry, a whole bunch of tribute this turn. Improve my deceit to 5 and consolidate, and get ready for potentially a Wrath 5 next turn. If this does drag on, I think I'm just going to try and get my deceit up. Obviously I can't buy anything, so just have money ready for dropping on rituals and stuff. So yeah, basically getting more of all resources. I've got a big old stack of Hellfire, so I should be able to hit my Hellfire based stuff for a couple of turns if needs be. Although it's looking less and less like I'm actually going to need to do it unless Robbo pulls the trigger. But yeah, deceit 5 would be nice. I'd like to get deceit 6 if I can. Convert Legion is always nice, although I realistically don't think I would be able to get it off on Robbo because it's deceiving so high, but nice to have at least, and also ups my deceit resistance as well. There's always that. Wrath is slightly less beneficial at this point because I don't know, I don't think I'll be taking big fights, but there we are. May as well have it. I ain't got anything else to spend the money on right now. Right, so I also considered, as my prince now I can humiliate, I considered humiliating Dan because of that extort attempt on Sharpo. However, I didn't because the extort attempt is delivered this turn, so Sharpo will obviously respond, or was delivered last turn rather, so Sharpo will respond this turn, which means that if I tried to humiliate Dan this turn, he would get 2 pop-ups, right? He would get a decision on Sharpo, response from Sharpo, and a response from me in the same turn, or an action from me in the same turn. So if Sharpo rejects it, rejects the demand, Dan could still... Well, basically Dan could choose to ignore that, effectively, let it slide, and then choose to reject my humiliation, and then I would be 1v2ing them. If Sharpo doesn't... If he accepts the extort, which I'd be surprised, but he might, then again, Dan could 1v2 me. So it seems like my best option is to wait a turn and just see how that resolves, and then see, and then potentially do the humiliate next turn. Don't know. Yeah, see how it pans out. So that's my turn.